Alright, so we're going to be working on lesson 1.3. I'm on page 22, so make sure you're on page 22. And basically what we're going to be doing is looking at how to tell if a graph gets translated horizontally or vertically, stretched or compressed vertically or horizontally, and what it looks like whenever we have a reflection of a function, of a graph of a function. So first thing that we're going to look at is vertical translations. So we're going to start with translations, the easier one of the three. So vertical translations happen whenever the function has some number adding on the outside of it, but that number can be adding or subtracting, and we call that number k. And what that number does is it shifts the graph up or down. So f of x gets shifted up or down depending on what k is. An example would be f of x, a function, plus 2 on the outside. The graph of f of x plus 2 is the graph of f of x shifted up 2. Right? So in this case, k would be 2. But in this one, f of x minus 3, k would be negative 3. And the graph of f of x equals, or f of x minus, this is supposed to be minus 3, is the graph of f of x shifted, we got to fix a couple things, down 3. Alright? So if k is negative 3, the graph of f of x minus 3 gets shifted down 3. So make sure that you fix that, because that'll be confusing if you try to figure out what's going on with that one. So here we go. Write g of x in terms of f of x after performing the given transformation of the graph of f of x. So the first example, we have this function. We have the graph of the function in black right here. And that function gets shifted up by 1, 2 points, right? Each point, 1, 2 gets shifted up 2. So whatever that function was, it's the resulting function after the translation is the function plus 2. If we take a look at this one, the black one is the original function, and look, it gets shifted down 1, 2, 3. So this is an example of what it looks like when we have f of x minus 3. And again, in this case, k is 2, and here k is negative 3. Next, we have horizontal translations, and horizontal translations are shifted to the left or right. And I always remember that horizontal means left or right, because if you look at the capital H, it's like a ladder. So the step that you step on in the ladder is left or right. Right is a flat line to the left and right. So horizontal means a horizontal line is a line that's just flat like that. Okay, so the graph. There's something else that we have to change on this one. So please delete this, cross it out. It's supposed to be f of x minus h. F of x minus h. We got really lucky because the people who wrote these packets gave it to us early, so they're not actually supposed to be out yet. So we got them early, so we got some versions that need to be fixed a little bit. But f of x minus h. The effect of f of x on the graph of f of x minus h, erase that, is the graph of f of x shifted to the left or right depending on what h is. So for example, in this one, f of x minus 4, the value that's subtracting from x, h, is 4 here. And you have to try to keep from taking the sign in front of the 4 because we have to think of what is being subtracted. So 4 is being subtracted from x here. So if h is 4, then the graph of f of x minus 4 is the graph of f of x shifted to the right 4 units. So you can always remember that h is basically just the opposite sign of the number that's in here. And it's to the right 4 units. Now this one, h, is going to be what? If this is plus 3, the value that's subtracting would have to be minus 3, right? We just take the opposite sign, all right? So if h is negative 3, then the graph of f of x plus 3 is the graph shifted left 3 units. So if h is negative 3, that's left 3 units. So whenever adding or subtracting is on the inside of the function, it's left or right. So let's look at some examples. So in black here, we have the original graph. I know yours doesn't have the color on it, but we have the original graph in black right there, and it ends here. And notice it gets shifted to the right, right? It gets shifted to the right how many? Well, this point starts here and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and it ends here, right? And then this original point starts here and goes 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So this is h equals 4. Remember, h is the opposite sign. It's the value that's being subtracted, and that means right 4. All right, now this one, f of x plus 3. So here we have this function, and notice it gets shifted to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. To the left 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so sometimes we're only going to be given the graph, and we have to determine what the function looks like in here. So here, h is -3, and it's the opposite sign of what's in here. All right, so that's left 3. All right, here we go. Our own. So write g of x in terms of f of x after performing the given transformation of the graph of f of x. So g of x is the function shifted. So g of x on this one is going to be the graph of f of x shifted up 3 units. So up or down, was that h or k? Let's go back up to the last page. You don't have to move it, but I'm going to show you that the page where we looked at those notes. Well, it was just the page before it, but here it says up or down, a vertical translation, up or down. We just add or subtract some number on the outside. It's the k. All right, so f of x shifted up 3 units. G of x is going to be f of x shifted up 3 units, so f of x plus 3. All right, so all we have to do is take this and go 1, 2, 3 to here. 1, 2, 3 to here. Let's take this point too. 1, 2, 3. It'd be like right here. 1, 2, 3 here. So it would look like, right? It's kind of hard to see. It's hard for me. But that's the graph shifted up 3 units. Not too pretty. Okay, let's look at this one. F of x to the right 3 units. Okay, to the right 3 units means h. Left or right is h. It's a horizontal translation. H equals right 3, so h equals 3. But remember, whenever we write what our function looks like, our g of x is going to be the translation of f of x. So we're going to take f of x and go to the right 3 units. So if our h is 3, then we have to have the opposite sign in here, right? Minus 3. F of x minus 3. All right, so right 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Bam. 1, 2, 3. Bam. Let's take this point too. 1, 2, 3. Bam. And here we go. So we just have to take that function, and it's kind of hard for me to draw it. It's probably hard for you too. But there we go. Right 3 unit. So before we move on, I want you to go to page 29 and try out some of these on your own before we move on to more complicated stuff. And it's okay if we don't complete all of lesson 1.3 today. I want to make sure that you understand what's going on with these. So try out number 1 and 2 from your homework. So this is maybe take, maybe 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Try number 1 and 2. So you got to pause the video to try out number 1 and 2. And then I'm going to continue on with the lesson in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're on page 24. Let's check it out. So now we have investigating stretches and compressions of function graphs. So vertical stretches and compression, a transformation of multiplying by some number to the outside, multiplying some number to the outside of the function. The graph of a times f of x is the graph of f of x stretched or compressed vertically by a factor of a. When it's stretched, the function gets taller. If it's compressed, the function gets shorter. So we're going to see exactly what happens there. So if a is greater than 1, if a is some whole number greater than 1, it gets stretched, it gets taller. But if a is some number between 0 and 1, it gets compressed. I'm going to show you why down here. So an example would be 2 times f of x. the graph of 2f of x is the graph of f of x stretched vertically by a factor of 2. So you're going to have to be able to rephrase this one. The graph of f of x stretched vertically by a factor of 2 is 2 times f of x. So you're going to have to restate that sentence, but it just depends on what the number is that's multiplying to yours. So here, 1/2 f of x is the graph of, or the graph of 1/2 f of x is the graph of f of x compressed vertically by a factor of 1/2. So that's a sentence that you're going to have to know how to write. So you just basically rewrite it, but with your numbers, right? So here, write g of x in terms of f of x after performing the given transformation of the graph of f of x. Here we go. Compress the graph f of x vertically by a factor of 1/2. So here's the function in black right here. So it looks like we go over 2, up 2, over 4, up 4. Same in the other direction. So here's our original function. And what happens whenever it gets compressed by a factor of 1/2, notice what happens to the y values. So here the y value is 2 on this point. This point that I'm talking about right here, the y value is 2. And then if we take half of that, the y value gets smaller. It gets closer to the x-axis, right? It's going to shrink the y values. So whenever the number on the outside of the function is some fraction, it makes the y value smaller. So the y values are lower. All of the x values are all the same, but the y values are just a little bit lower than they were before. So everything gets multiplied by a half. So the y value that used to be 4 is now a y value of 2. The y value that used to be, what is that, 8? Is it 8? No, that's 6, is now 3, right? We take half of it, is 3. But the x value is still 6, right? The x values don't change, but the y values get taken by a half. And that's the same reason why whenever the number multiplying on the outside is a whole number greater than 1, like if it were 2, like let's think of if it were 2 times f of x. This point would turn the y value would get multiplied by 2, so the y value of 2 would move to the y value of 4, right? Here the y value of 4 would move to the y value of 8. So see how this one, you don't have to write this, I'm just kind of like showing you, would get taller. The graph would get taller if we had to multiply by 2. So that's a vertical stretch. Okay, let's try this out. Write g of x in terms of f of x after performing the given transformation of the graph of f of x. Stretch the graph of f of x vertically by a factor of 2. So we have to take some points. So here's a point, 1, 1, 1, 1. And let's choose one more point. Let's choose like this one. This point is 3, 3. Right? And then this one would be -1, 1. We need to choose points on both sides. And -3, 3. -3, 3. Alright, so it gets stretched vertically by a factor of 2, so all that happens is the y values get multiplied by 2. So let's see what happens. This point, we go over 1, and then our y value of 1 gets multiplied by 2, so it goes up to 2. Let me make this red. So this is now 1, 2. X values stay the same, y values get multiplied by 2. This one, 3, 3, goes to 3, 6. 3 times 2. 3, 6. Alright, here we go. This point is 0, 0 still. So let's talk about this one, 0, 0, 0, 0. It stays 0, 0 because 0 times 3 is still 0, right? Okay, now this one, -1, 1. That goes to -1, 3. Not -1, 3. -1, 2. Sorry about that. -1, 2 gets multiplied by 2. -1, 2. This one, -3, 3. The y value gets multiplied by 2. -3, 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Alright, and then we have our function. Bam. Y values get multiplied by 2. X doesn't change. So we also need to talk about what the function g of x looks like. We got g of x, and whenever it gets multiplied, or whenever we stretch vertically by a factor of 2, we just have g of x equals 2 f of x. This next one, I know I added some things in there, but just ignore that. I'll give you time to do that. F of x, compress the graph vertically by a factor of 1/2. So that's g of x equals 1/2 f of x. right? Okay, so now this one, I want you to pause the video and try out what you think this one's going to do and use these points. So pause the video, use these points. What's the graph going to look like when it's compressed? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is.